What if the thing you're most afraid of isn't actually what's hurting you? For many people dealing with anxiety, depression, and emotional paralysis, life can become dominated by the what ifs. What if I panic? What if I fail? What if I lose control? What if this never gets better? Welcome to the journey of freedom. Today I want to walk you through what I call risk assessment. It's a biblical way of evaluating fear instead of obeying it. And before we get started, let me ask this. If this content helps you, would you please like it, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment? Those algorithms help other people see it, and that would be a blessing to us and to our ministry. So I think a great question to start with is, why does fear feel so real? We know Proverbs tells us that as we think in our heart, so are we. Fear doesn't start in my circumstances, it starts in your imagination. That's why Paul writes in 2 Corinthians to cast down imaginations and every high thing that exalts itself against the knowledge of God. Notice the Bible doesn't say ignore fearful thoughts. It says examine them and bring them into truth. That's what risk assessment can do. When I had my first panic attack on the airplane leaving New York, the what if game began. Matter of fact, the whole way we drove home to Michigan was nothing but what ifs. My mind would ask, what if I lose control? What if I pass out? What if I embarrass myself? What if this never stops? And here's what I learned over time. It wasn't the plane that was the problem. It wasn't the car wash that I had panic attack and that was the problem. It wasn't the crowded room. It wasn't the fear. The issue was unchecked imaginations. The Bible tells me in Lamentations 3 that though he caused grief, yet will he have compassion according to the multitude of his mercies. Fear speaks in assumptions and God speaks in truth. Again, the Bible says in Ecclesiastes, he that observeth the wind shall not sow, and he that regardeth the clouds won't reap. If you wait until fear disappears, you'll never move forward. So let's jump into what you can do now. This is homework. Now listen, this is a huge part of freedom in your life, is actually doing homework. You can listen to us all you want. We can give you knowledge, but until you actually do it, it doesn't begin to transform you. And I'm big into writing things down. So here's the first thing I want you to write down. I want you to write down the decision that you're avoiding, the situation that you fear, or the step that you feel stuck in, okay? And then you have to ask the question, number 2, what's the worst thing that could realistically happen? Fear will lose its power and its grip when it's written down. Luke 14 says, for which of you intending to build a tower sitteth not down first and counteth the cost? This isn't fear, this is wisdom. Each fear that you have, ask, what could I do to reduce the likelihood? If it happened anyway, how could I repair the damage? Worst case scenario, what could I do? Who could I ask for help? Because anxiety tells me I'm trapped. What if I have a panic attack on a plane? What's the worst thing that can happen? The worst thing that can happen is I can have a panic attack on the plane. I'm not going to die. I'm going to feel miserable for a little bit, and then it's going to go away. I'll still get to my destination. Truth is the thing that reminds us that options exist. The third thing you need to do is think about and write down the cost of inaction. And here's the step that most people avoid, and it's very important. Ask yourself this, if I do nothing, if I stay here, if I keep avoiding, what will my life look like in 6 months, in 1 year, in 3 years? James 4:17 says, therefore to him that knoweth to do good and doeth it not, to him it is sin. Sometimes the greatest risk is doing nothing. The Bible tells us in Isaiah 41, fear thou not, for I am with thee. I'll strengthen thee. Yea, I will help thee. And here's the truth. Most fears bring temporary, reversible discomfort. Obedience can bring lasting freedom. We suffer more in imagination than in reality. Again, if this message resonates with you, like it, subscribe to the Journey to Freedom, comment below with a fear that you're ready to evaluate, not explain, just identify. Because you never know who needs to see this today, and your engagement helps this reach them. If you want to go deeper, we've created a free masterclass that walks you through the healing the anxious mind step by step. It's a free masterclass on our website, which is journeytofreedom.online, because freedom begins when truth replaces fear.